The passing of Roger Ewing, the beloved actor best known for his portrayal of Deputy Marshal Thad Greenwood on the iconic television series, Gunsmoke, marks the end of an era for fans of classic westerns. At the age of 83, Ewing's departure leaves behind a legacy of on-screen charm, a transition to creative pursuits beyond acting, and a life lived with quiet determination away from the Hollywood spotlight. His family confirmed the news, though details surrounding the cause remain private, allowing the focus to rest on his contributions to entertainment and his diverse interests in later years. Ewing's journey into acting began in his early 20s, a time when many young men were exploring their paths post-college. After completing his education and working briefly as a lifeguard, a role that perhaps honed his physical presence and discipline, he committed fully to the craft of performance. His debut came in 1964 with an uncredited appearance in the film Ensign Pulver, a naval comedy that provided a modest entry point into the industry. This initial step was followed by guest roles on various popular television shows that same year, showcasing his versatility and ability to adapt to different characters. It was on Gunsmoke, however, that Ewing truly made his mark. The long-running Western series, which aired from 1955 to 1975, was a staple of American television, depicting the rugged life in Dodge City, Kansas, through the eyes of Marshal Matt Dillon and his companions. Ewing first appeared on the show in February 1965, at the tender age of 23. Initially, he portrayed a different character, but his talent caught the eye of producers, leading to his return as the recurring role of Thad Greenwood. As the deputy marshal, Ewing brought a youthful energy and earnestness to the ensemble, complementing the more seasoned actors like James Arness, Milburn Stone, and Amanda Blake. Thad's character arc involved learning the ropes of law enforcement in the Wild West, facing moral dilemmas, and growing into a reliable figure amidst gunfights, saloon brawls, and frontier justice. Gunsmoke itself was groundbreaking for its time, evolving from a radio drama to one of the longest-running primetime shows in history. It tackled themes of morality, community, and the human condition against a backdrop of dusty trails and moral ambiguity. Ewing's portrayal of Thad added a layer of relatability, representing the next generation stepping into roles of responsibility. His episodes often highlighted mentorship as Thad learned from Dillon's wisdom, mirroring perhaps Ewing's own experiences as a newcomer in Hollywood. Beyond Gunsmoke, Ewing's filmography included notable appearances, such as in None But the Brave, a war drama directed by Frank Sinatra. This role demonstrated his range, moving from westerns to more contemporary or historical settings. Throughout the 1960s, he navigated the competitive landscape of television and film, where westerns were at their peak popularity, influenced by cultural shifts toward stories of heroism and rugged individualism. By the early 1970s, however, Ewing made a deliberate choice to step away from acting. This decision was not driven by failure but by a desire to explore other passions. He turned to photography, a medium that allowed him creative expression without the demands of scripts and sets. His photographic pursuits took him on adventures around the globe, from the vibrant cultures of Mexico to the vast landscapes of Russia, the historic sites of Europe, and the serene islands of the South Pacific. Through his lens, Ewing captured the world's diversity, perhaps finding solace in the solitude and artistry that photography offers, contrasting the collaborative nature of acting. This shift to photography was emblematic of Ewing's multifaceted personality. In an era when many actors clung to fame, he chose reinvention, embracing a life of exploration and self-discovery. His travels likely enriched his perspective, exposing him to different ways of life and inspiring his work behind the camera. Photography, with its emphasis on light, composition, and storytelling through images, paralleled the visual narratives he once performed in. Later in life, Ewing's interests extended into civic engagement. He became involved in local politics in his hometown of Morro Bay, California, a coastal community known for its natural beauty and laid-back vibe. Running for city council, he brought his experiences from Hollywood and his global travels to bear on community issues. This foray into politics suggests a man committed to service, using his platform, however modest in scale, to contribute to the place he called home. Whether advocating for environmental preservation, given Morro Bay's scenic bay and rock formations, or addressing local governance, Ewing's candidacy reflected a desire to give back. Personally, Ewing led a private life, choosing not to marry or have children. This decision allowed him the freedom to pursue his varied interests without the responsibilities of family life, though it also meant his legacy would be carried forward by extended family members and admirers of his work. Survived by relatives, his memory endures through the roles he played and the paths he forged post-acting. Reflecting on Ewing's career, one can't help but appreciate the era he represented. The 1960s and 1970s were a golden age for television westerns, with shows like Gunsmoke influencing generations. Ewing's Thad Greenwood embodied the idealism of youth in a harsh world, a theme that resonates even today in modern storytelling. His departure from acting to photography and politics illustrates a life of intentional choices, prioritizing fulfillment over fame. In obituaries and tributes, fans recall his warm smile, authentic performances, and the quiet dignity with which he lived. Gunsmoke enthusiasts, many of whom revisit episodes on streaming platforms, find in Thad a character that added heart to the series. Ewing's global travels through photography likely produced a body of work that, if shared, could offer insights into his artistic eye. His involvement in Morro Bay politics highlights a community-oriented spirit. Small-town councils often deal with issues like tourism, conservation, and infrastructure, and Ewing's background might have brought a unique perspective, perhaps advocating for arts or environmental causes inspired by his travels. Ewing's life story is one of evolution, from lifeguard to actor, photographer to politician. It reminds us that success isn't linear, it's about adapting and finding joy in new chapters. As we remember him, his contributions to Gunsmoke ensure his place in television history, while his later pursuits paint a fuller picture of a man who lived richly beyond the screen.